Welcome to my Sitecore Diaries, your ultimate guide to digital experience excellence, your go-to channel for all the things in Sitecore and .NET. So this is the video from Sitecore Headless video series, and today we are going to talk about very critical topic of a headless, and that is Sitecore Content Resolver. So I am your host Jitendra Ghanekar, and today we have Nikhil with us. He is helping us in Sitecore Headless video series. Okay, so I will be handing over to him and we will straight go into the presentation mode, and Nikhil will help us to understand what is Sitecore Content Resolver.
Thank you, Jitu. Hello guys, let's start with our topic, content resolvers. So we have a question, what is content resolvers? Content resolver acts as an intermediary that determines how content is fetched from Sitecore for a specific route in your application. So content resolver decides how the content is getting fetched from Sitecore for a specific route. Let's understand it better. So this is your JSS application and you requested blog 1 page. On the blog 1 page, we have two fields, heading and description, that are present on blog 1 item itself. So that becomes a context item. So we have requested the blog 1 item and we are seeing two fields that are present on blog 1 item itself. So it becomes a context item. Then we are getting two more fields, related blogs and link 1 and link 2. So these are coming from a data source item. So they are not present on the blog 1 item. These two fields and this text sits somewhere else. So this becomes our data source item. Let's move to our next slide. So what are default content resolvers? So as you can see in the picture, we have renderings. In renderings, we have a rendering called CTA, and on the rendering called CTA, we have a field called rendering content resolvers. This field, rendering content resolvers. So when you click on this field, you will see 6 default resolvers provided by Sitecore, which as follows. So context item children resolver, context item resolver, data source item children resolver, data source resolver, folder filter resolver, and Sitecore forms resolver. So these are the 6 default resolvers provided by Sitecore to modify your content as per your requirements. So let's move to our first type of resolver, that is context item resolver. So the context item resolver in Sitecore JSS is a specialized resolver that fetches and serializes the context item rather than predefined data source. So this context item resolver fetches the context item fields. For example, if you are requesting this home item and you want fields of the same item, so you can always use context item resolver, as it will resolve the fields of context item and give you those in a serialized format. Likewise, if you are requesting this finance page and you want to access the fields of finance item itself, for the same scenario, you can use context item resolver. Let's move to our next resolver, context item children resolver. It is a specialized content resolver that serializes the children of context item. So if you are requesting this finance page and you want the fields of card 1 and card 2, you want fields of card 1 and card 2, so you can use context item children resolver in this case, because finance is your context item and these card 1 and card 2 are your context item children. So you want to resolve the children of context item, so you can always use context item children resolver, as it will give you fields of card 1 and card 2. Let's move to our third resolver, data source resolver. The data source resolver in Sitecore JSS is a default behavior that fetches and serializes the data source item associated with a component or rendering. So as the name suggests, data source resolver. This resolver will resolve the data source. Whatever you put in the data source field, it will resolve it. Let's say you requested this home item and you put card 1 as the data source in some rendering, and you choose data source resolver. So this resolver will serialize the content of card 1 because it is a data source. So whatever you will put, it will resolve the fields of data source. Let's move to our next resolver, data source item children resolver. So as the name suggests, it will resolve the children of data source item. The definition says it fetches and serializes the children of an item set as data source for a component or rendering. So let's say on the home item, you put finance as a data source. So card 1 and card 3 are the children of data source item. So it will resolve both items, card 1 and card 3, because they both are the children of data source item. But here's the catch, it will only serialize the children of data source item. Let's say if you put global, then it will only try to serialize finance and technology, not card 1 or card 3, because they are not children, they are descendant of global. The children are finance and technology. So this resolver will serialize children's of data source item. Let's move to our next resolver, folder filter resolver. So the difference between folder filter resolver and data source resolver is the folder filter resolver works on descendants as well while filtering out the folders. So the definition says that it fetches and serializes the descendants of a data source item while filtering out the folder items. If you want to resolve card 1, card 3 of finance and of technology 2 at the same time, so if you want to resolve these 4 items, so you can put global as a data source and you can choose this folder filter resolver. It will resolve all 4 because it will skip the global folder, finance folder and technology folder, and it will serialize all the items and their fields. So let's move to our next resolver, Sitecore forms resolver. So this is used to fetch and to serialize Sitecore forms that are associated with components or renderings. So let's say you made some form. I have made some example age form, and you want to send this age form data to front end. So you can directly choose age form as a data source and choose Sitecore forms resolver, and it will resolve the Sitecore form for you. So guys, I'm ready with my Sitecore instance to demonstrate each of the default resolver provided by Sitecore. Let's go to this folder, Sitecore demo, home, blog, finance. So this is my context item. So we'll try to put some rendering on this item. Add. We'll put a rendering. So I have put hero banner as a rendering. So to configure the rendering, we'll go to the respective rendering. We'll go to renderings, feature, hero banner. We'll go to the required field, rendering content resolver field, and we'll choose context item resolver. We'll choose context item resolver and we'll request this page finance in our layout service. So as you can see in the layout service main, we have the component called hero banner, and the fields are coming are title value finance, content value. This is my context item field finance. So it is resolving the fields of our context item. Okay, this finance have two children, card 1 and card 2. If I want fields of card 1 and card 2 in our layout service in this component, then we can directly go to our rendering, resolver, and we'll choose context item children resolver, as they are the children of context item finance. We'll just choose this context item children resolver, we'll just save it and we'll just directly reload. So as you can see in the hero banner, now we are coming up with two items. We'll open each one and you can see we are getting the fields of cards. So this is the URL we are getting. Fields: hi, I am children of finance card 2, and this is hi, I am children of finance card 1. So if we choose context item resolver, it will resolve the fields of finance, as this is our context item. If we choose context item children resolver, it will resolve the children of that. Okay, let's move to our next resolver, that is Datasource resolver. Again, we are requesting the finance page, and what we can do, we can directly go to our data global finance. We can choose this card 1 as data source. We go to finance details. So this is the data source field of our rendering. We'll put as data source. So will it make any difference? No. Card 1 and card 2 coming as it is. Why? Because we have put the data source field, but we are not utilizing it. To utilize our data source field, we have to change our resolver. If we choose data source resolver here, then our data source field will be picked up. And we'll just reload it. You can see this card 1 is in data global finance. So this is a card 1 that is coming, and this sits in the data global finance, and we can see that data source field as well. So this is a data source field and we are using data source resolver here. Let's move to our next type of resolver, that is data source item children resolver. So let's change our data source. So this, if this finance is our data source, then card 1 and card 3 will become the children of it. Currently we are getting only card 1. Card 1 is directly set as the data source. We are just getting card 1. But if we want card 1 and card 3 both at the same time, so we can choose data source item children resolver. So we'll put finance as a data source on our page. Will it make any difference? You see, we got the data source, but we are not getting any fields. Why? Because this finance has no fields. This finance is a folder, but we want to resolve the children of it. We'll directly go to our rendering and we'll go with data source item children resolver. We'll just save it and we'll reload it. You see, now we are getting up two items, card 1 and card 3. This card 1 is in data global finance, this card 3 is in data global finance. So now we are getting the children of our data source item. Pretty simple, guys. Let's move to our fifth type of resolver, that is folder filter resolver. Now, as we want fields of card 1, card 3 of finance and card 1 and card 3 of technology also. So we want all the 4 items. So we'll put global as a data source. We'll put global as a data source. So you see, global is now our data source. We'll just save it and we'll just reload this. You see, we are getting 2 items, finance and technology. We are getting 2 items, but they are null because they don't have any fields. But we wanted items. So, and this technology and finance is a folder. So they are of no use. So we can directly go to our rendering and we can choose folder filter resolver. Just save it and we'll just reload it. Now I guess we should have 4 items. Yes, as expected, 4 items we are getting. The first item, this card 1 is in data global finance. So this is the card 1 of finance. This is the card 2 of finance, card 3 of finance. Then we are getting the cards of technology as well. This card 1 is in global technology and this card 3 is in data global technology. So now we are getting 4 cards and this resolver is filtering up all the folders. So folders are global, finance and technologies. These 3 folders are skipped and we are directly getting the 4 items. So this was our 5th resolver. Let's move to our last and final default resolver, that is Sitecore forms resolver. So I have a form here, age form. I'll just copy this and I'll just use this form as data source. So for forms, we have our last type of resolver called Sitecore forms resolver. We'll just choose this resolver, save it, and we'll just reload it. As you can see, now we are getting all the fields of Sitecore forms that are required to implement Sitecore forms for front end. You can see we are getting the fields and these are the predefined fields that can be used. You see, we are getting fields and inside fields we are getting one more. Just fill this form. So we are getting all the fields that are required for Sitecore forms implementation in Sitecore Headless. So there we complete our 6 type of default resolvers. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Over to you, Jitu. You can take it from here.
So thank you, Nikhil, for this wonderful demo. So we are done for today. So you must have understand now what is Sitecore content resolver, what are the different types of default Sitecore content resolver, and you must have seen how to use those, when to use those, and what is the use case about it. In the next video, we are going to talk about how to customize the content resolver, and this content resolver are the heart of your headless development. So most of the time you need to work on this content resolver, so it is very critical topic for the development, say headless development. So next video we are going to talk about how to customize the content resolver. If you like this video, please do click on a like button to share this video with others. And till now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell to get latest update. Thank you. We will meet in next video.